Hi, and welcome to Amish Creations, sponsored by Amish Furniture of Detroit Lakes, where furniture is real wood all the way through. Today we'll look into a little bit of Amish history. In mid-16th century Europe, the Anabaptist Christians challenged some of the Protestant reforms, mainly infant baptism. They believed baptism should be given to believing adults when they were ready. They also came up with a radical, at the time, idea of separation of church and state. A large group of these people fled to Switzerland and other remote parts of Europe to escape religious persecution. They became known as Mennonites, named after the leader, Menno Simons. In the late 1600s, a group broke from the Mennonites, led by Jacob Ammon, becoming known as the Amish. Today, Mennonites and Amish still share many aspects of their faith. Manner of worship and dress codes are the biggest differences. Next week, we'll find out how and when the Amish got to the United States. This week, we'd like to tell you a little bit about tables. We have well over a dozen tables in stock at all times right here in the store. If you like one of those tables, you could take it home today. If you like something a little different, you can pick another stain, sometimes a type of wood, style variation. We can always check with the craftsman to see what he is willing and able to do for you. Many of the craftsmen will work with different type of woods, oak and cherry being the most common. Some of the craftsmen can give you other options such as table shape, edge options, pedestal or leg choices, just to name a few. If you have a special need, like a very large family or dining room to fill, we can find a table to fill those needs. I'd like to show you a special table that we have right here in the store. Would you believe you can seat more than 20 people around this table? This piece begins as a round 48-inch table. You can add two 12-inch leaves to the single pedestal and you have a 72-inch table. Ready for more? You can keep adding up to 12-inch leaves to this table. Once you add the third and more leaves, you split the pedestal. Each half of the pedestal will then go with the ends of the table, and there is a center pedestal hidden inside that splitting pedestal. This way the ends of the table will have support and the center of the table will have support. With all 12 leaves installed in the table, you have a table that will reach 16 feet in length. You can order this table in either a 42 or 40-inch wide, 48-inch wide. It comes with either a round or squared round ends. Levelers on the feet are standard, as are the rounded edge on the tabletop. You can have this table made in oak, cherry, or maple. Thanks for joining us for Amish Creations, sponsored by Amish Furniture of Detroit Lakes. Remember, the furniture is real wood all the way through.
Hello, welcome to this week's edition of For Your Family's Comfort, brought to you by Root Heating and Air Conditioning and by Modern Heating and Plumbing of Detroit Lakes. This week we're going to talk about how an air conditioner works. An air conditioner is a piece of equipment that doesn't create heat or create cooling. What it does is it moves heat. In the summertime, when we're uncomfortable, we want to absorb the heat and move the heat from inside our homes or our business to outside. And an air conditioner will do that. It has two basic components. We have an indoor unit and we have an outdoor unit. And through the refrigeration system, this compressor section out here will create a cold coil inside your home. And that coil is cold enough that it's below the temperature in your house, and the heat will be absorbed into that cold coil. Then via the refrigerant that moves from the indoors to the outdoors, that heat will be rejected to the outdoor air from this hot coil. Again, this created by the compressor. The compressor in this condensing unit is the heart of your system. Again, we've got a cold coil inside that absorbs the heat inside your building, and then we've got a hot coil out here that rejects the heat. The way it rejects the heat is that there's a fan on top of the condensing unit that pulls outside air in through the outside perimeter across the coil and then out through the top. And again, this coil outside is hotter than the air so that the heat can be rejected into the airstream. So we're not only absorbing heat from the inside, we're also, with our cold coil, which is below the dew point, will cause the humidity that's inside your house to collect on that coil, run down the drain, and therefore we're going to remove not only the heat but the humidity from your house. So with that in mind, it's important to keep your indoor unit as clean as possible, You make sure your filter inside is clean, so that again we can have the proper airflow. We want to keep the outdoor unit clean, just like we talked about last week, so that we can keep our system operating at its peak efficiency. Again, thank you for joining us at this week's edition of For Your Family's Comfort.
Pam's Old Bank in Frazee is overflowing with antiques and vintage collectibles. Over 140 consigners have filled all 3 floors with their treasures. From the vaults to the teller windows, Pam's Old Bank is the place to explore in downtown Frazee.
Welcome to What's It Worth. Every week, Jerome and his panel will appraise different antiques that were brought in by you, the viewer. What's It Worth is brought to you by
Perham's, local Mercury and Lund dealer. Hoot Sports, where dreams come true with the best deals on Mercury motors and Lund boats.
Somebody brought in this beautiful piece of Balik china. It's a vase from the 1950s. The Balik companies started in Ireland, and it gets its name from the actual town it was started in, and that was in 1859. They're still in production today, and they've had a very good way to mark their items so that you could actually date that, so you know if you're buying an old piece or a new piece. Most of them have this beautiful pearl luster finish. That's kind of their trademark, and the real fine detail and lightweight of the porcelain. So this vase dates from the 50s, and to give you an example of their dating system, when they started, the first 3 marks that they used were black, and then that was until 1946. And then they had a series of green marks, and then the 7th mark was golden brown, which ran 80 until 92. And then there was a blue mark that ran from 93 to 96. And then in 97 and 99, they went back to another type of blue mark, and now they're using a black mark, which is a little different. But one of these interesting things here, and I'll point this out on the mark, is one way you can date it once you've got the color of the mark set, is how many strands are in the harp. So this one has 4 strands that run in this harp, and that designates that it was from the 50s as part of this black mark. So a very beautiful piece of porcelain from Ireland, and well sought after, a very good detailing and craftsmanship, and well documented on their markings, so you can know if you're buying an old piece or a new piece. This one from the 50s runs about $225.
Hi, this is Trevor from Amish Furniture of Detroit Lakes. We've moved. People keep asking, why move? Well, our new location has the perfect amount of floor space, a better atmosphere, and easy access from Highway 59 South. But being able to focus on furniture built by Amish craftsmen that's real wood all the way through is a refreshing change. So stop by for a visit at Highway 59 South next to L&M Fleet, Detroit Lakes.
Ghost Runner Errand Service. Why waste your time on the small things?
Hi, I'm John Gordon. You can hear my good friend Andy Lee in the morning and Twins baseball at night on KDLM.
Track leaping up, and he makes the catch.
The wind up in the pitch. Swing, and it is.
Somebody brought in 2 examples here of the Dion quintuplets. In case people aren't aware, the Dion quintuplets were born in the 30s in Canada, and immediately became medical history for even surviving 5 paternal twins. So in fact their whole life was exploited and commercialized, and they set up a compound, and people would come in droves to watch them, and they have them fenced off sort of like on exhibit. So they were very popular all the way up until the mid-50s, and newspapers and souvenirs were sold by the hundreds, and this one here shows them in their 50s towards when they were teenagers, and that was when they finally got enough freedom that they got themselves free from all the advertising of their light. So it's very interesting. There's hundreds of Dion quintuplets items out there to collect, and it's kind of a fun thing, and it's an interesting story on how their life started and came about. And these spoons, a set of 5, in very good shape with all their names on it, and their silver plate run about $58 to $60 for the set. And this calendar from the 50s, which is towards the end of their public life, runs about $22. So a fun thing to collect, and a very interesting story on the Dion quintuplets.